Over the years, Americans have fought for what they wanted, what they believed in. Every opinion was heard, every side argued, and in the beginning, both sides met in the middle with their solutions. But as time went on, our country lost an important piece of our government's foundation: compromise. What is compromise? Compromise is an agreement of settlement of a dispute that is reached by each side making concessions.
Compromise has become a bad word for many in the political sphere, yet our history shows that it's the way things get done and how our country moves forward. It seems that when our nation faces real crises, even the bitterest of foes have been able to work together for the good of our country. Instead of violence, secession, or deadlock, compromise brought settlement. True outcomes were often unsatisfying, with neither side emerging a total winner. One of our presidents, Millard Fillmore, did recognize the importance of compromise, which he described as equality of dissatisfaction.
As part of the Constitution, it says there shall be no titles of nobility. Doesn't say except for. It says no titles of nobility. We will not compromise on that. So we're not going to compromise on feudalism. It says pretty much in every state constitution, no primogeniture. Primogeniture means that land shall not be passed to the firstborn male. And that's a huge alteration in property rights. It says we shall have no monarchy. It doesn't say we shall have a limited monarchy or a compromised monarchy. We shall have no monarchy. So there are certain things in which monarchy, feudalism with an asterisk, and property rights. Oh, and we shall have no established religion. So once one agrees on certain things that you won't compromise on, maybe then it is easier to find issues that you can compromise on. What was my asterisk?
In the early development of our country, we created the Constitution, which initiated many questions from the people. Who was allowed to vote? How could the states have equal representation? Should we focus on uniting our country or enforcing equality? We listened to each other and we chose that what was best for the country, not just us. But now things have changed. Compromise is rare among politicians. It has to be their way or no way. Nothing gets done, but let us start from the beginning.
One of the most famous bundles of compromise is the Constitution. There are 5 in total: the Great Compromise, the 3/5 Compromise, the Commerce Compromise, the Slave Trade Compromise, and the Electoral College Compromise. The Great Compromise came about when deciding how each state was going to be represented. 2 plans were proposed. The Virginia plan wanted it based on population, but the New Jersey plan wanted equality for all states. Because both had very compelling points, they compromised with the development of 2 houses: the Senate, 2 representatives for each state from the New Jersey plan, and House of Representatives, a number based on the population like the Virginia plan wanted. This is still in effect today, a solid example on lasting compromises.
Over here.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, good. In your onstage interview, you said that both candidates need to watch what they do. Mm-hmm. What specifically would you have the 2 candidates do differently, and what do you want America to look like at the end of your year as Miss America?
I think that what I would want both candidates to focus on is compromise. Our country was founded on compromise, and we're living in a state now where both parties seem to be just yelling at each other. I hope that at the end of my year, we're starting to reward politicians on compromising instead of just defending themselves.
Thank you.
In this day and time, compromise is no longer seen as an acceptable option. Our government has become so corrupt that government shutdowns are normal, and compromise means traitor. We have lost sight of the true meaning of the word. Instead, we see compromise as working with the enemy. Otto von Bismarck once said, "Politics is the art of the possible," and so compromise seeks the best possible solution. Not a perfect union, but, as the preamble to the Constitution states, a more perfect union. It is sometimes said that the enemy of the good is best. That is not our problem with compromise today. No, we are unable to find the best possible solution because members of Congress have become almost entirely focused on positioning themselves and their party for the next election. That has become the enemy of compromise.